welcome to the Furahi Day show here on your favorite show, Let's Talk here on Ebru TV. My name is Lydia KM, and we want to welcome you to the show. And I know most of us are doing the, staying inside because of the census. It starts tomorrow, so you guys make sure you are there to be counted. But before all of that, it's time to have some really good time. The hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk, and the SMS line is 40921.
My name is Dana DeGrazia, and that's Haslam Khanis on Instagram and Twitter. This is Lydia KM on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
My name is Naomi Wamboe, WAMBOE on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and the SMS is 40920.
Yes, you guys. I feel like we're all just kind of like in a tizzy, as you might say, because of the census. But you know what the census, the silver lining to it is, because they want you to be indoors, and unfortunately all the bars and clubs are closing. It's the perfect time to binge watch your favorite show, Let's Talk! Yay! We're excited to spend the next, 2-3 days with you. We cannot wait to see you on social media being like, oh my God, this is an episode from 3 months ago. I can't believe I missed it. It was amazing. We're so excited to get that feedback from you, but for now, it's Hot Talk.
Ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on.
Now, as we said, guys, we want to push people to actually make this census. You want to be counted. There are so many reasons for that. And if you haven't seen all the adverts that have been around, like there's so much information there, and people are going to be dressed in, they're going to have their names, it's going to say census. So people are very much afraid about this, like letting people into their home. Somebody did come to my house today. It wasn't actually that scary. It was a lady and another lady at the back. They just knocked my door. They told me who they were. They asked me who lives there. Bing, bang, bosh. It wasn't that scary. So you guys just stay at home and get counted. Now, you guys, we know Kush Tracy. Yes. She used to be a circular artist, and she's known for very raunchy music, very fun music, upbeat, and her general energy is very, feel good Friday, a very fun kind of girl. She is currently a TV show host, but her circular gospel change thing is still very much a topic of conversation. The reason being, since she transitioned into gospel, she's still going to clubs, she's still promoting clubs, she's still hosting events at clubs, and a lot of the promotion definitely does include alcohol. For example, her most recent advert for, I guess, a hosting gig she's doing, said that whoever wins gets like free shots. And for a circular artist, I don't think anyone will flinch. But now that she has established herself as a gospel artist, a lot of people are questioning her stance, because there's one thing to be there playing at the club, and money is money, but to be promoting the use of alcohol is very different from what people, I guess, expect from a gospel artist. What do you guys think?
So it's not necessarily my place to judge someone else's relationship with their God, but I will say from a business standpoint, I don't think it's a very good idea in the sense that, sure, maybe you're making sort of the short-term money hosting things of that nature, but if you really look at how huge the gospel industry is, they want you to be taking the Christian, life seriously. They want you to be, walking the walk. So I feel like if she's hesitating in that sense, I don't necessarily know how good it is for her brand, because, if you're going to declare yourself born again, and you really kind of have to lean into it if you're going to carry it forward. So I hesitate to see the legitimacy just from a business standpoint. But her God is her God, and I'm not going to judge.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. But in the gospel industry in Kenya, people do get scrutinized over the littlest things. And she was secular once. She was secular before, and now she's turned to be a gospel artist. I don't exactly think that doing the whole club thing and all of that and promoting alcohol, that's not a good look for especially a born-again Christian. I'm saved, I'm doing gospel, I'm turning my life around, but then you're kind of being a hypocrite in other senses of your life.
How much of your life are you really turning around?
And see, that's the thing. I feel like when a lot of people who do come out to be saved, I'm Roman Catholic, so we don't believe in this, declaration of I am saved. If your spirit is saved, your heart is saved, you are acting accordingly, that's good enough. And at the end of the day, it's actually between the relationship between you and God. Now, when you make this declaration, like, I am saved, and she said that there's a lot of times she battled with her spirit when she was doing secular music. So this felt like a decision which she really thought about before she made it. Now, to come up and, you know, make that declaration, but then still want to do the things that the secular artists do, you want to have like the same,
have your cake
you
and
have
eat
to
it.
have your cake and eat it too. You want to play both sides, and unfortunately the secular will be confused because you're a gospel artist, and the gospel artist will be offended because they have a particular standard for a gospel artist. You know what I mean? I've met Chris Tracy. She's actually really nice. She has a very sweet energy, but for me, I'm like, if this is where you want to stay, stay. And I feel like when you're a secular artist, you can always do a gospel song. Sauti Sol did Kuliko Jana, loved it. Beautiful gospel song, and they weren't held to that standard. But once you declare yourself to be a gospel artist and to be saved, that's
the
done
thing.
deal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you go about sort of the dramatics of it, because even look at people who work in the opposite direction, who are leaving the gospel industry, the for lack of a better word, antics that some of them do are very intense, and they're very heavily scrutinized, where if they were just sort of a secular artist throughout, they would be like, "Ah, this guy is just crazy," kind of thing. So when you're declaring a transition, people really scrutinize you and the transition, you know, that you're taking place. So it's just it's sad, because I feel like it also hurts kind of both industries in a way, and no matter what, her brand is kind of going to suffer. She kind of just has to pick a side of the fence, because maybe, you know, genres in music are getting to be more fluid, but there is barely any fluidity when it comes to gospel music. There's no fluidity
I
in
would
that.
advise personally, before you make a declaration of anything, live it a year. Live a year with that energy. Live a year with the discipline of being saved. Live a year with the sacrifices of not going to clubs, not drinking. Then see if you feel that way. Because once you make a declaration, people are like,
No, I definitely agree with that, because maybe I was even thinking maybe she had like a contract or something that she had signed, and she has to do like this many events, this many whatever. So maybe she can't get out of it, or, you know, it'll mess up with her money. Who knows what's going on? Like, because she could be at the club and she's just drinking water. Like, you know, she's doing her own thing, just sitting back and just hosting. But at the same time, it makes your image look bad. But I agree with Lydia. Go a year, do your thing in secret, and then.
But that's a very good point, because there are a lot of. I actually have one in mind who doesn't drink at all, but he promotes a very high-end alcohol brand. So you're right. You could be sort of flaunting it. But again, if you declare yourself sort of this staunch born again, you have to examine, okay, so if my Christian values probably don't like lying, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, how much of a gray area are we going to give her? How much leeway are we going to give her? But, you know, you just got to get your paper, I guess, at the end of the day. The best thing you can do is make that money, and who knows, maybe she's using that money to invest back in her church. We don't know. We don't know where she's going, but the hashtag is Ibra Let's Talk, and the text tone is 40920. She's just going to live her own life and do the Chris Tracy way. We have no idea. But you guys, there's another musician who's actually in the spotlight because of who he is dating. We are all well aware of the fact that the very famous and hysterical comedian Kansime. So she's Ugandan. She's a Ugandan boyfriend whose actual name I cannot pronounce, but he is known by the name Skylanta. And Skylanta has been under scrutiny because people are commenting on his body. And again, once you go back and you binge watch all of our episodes, you'd note that yesterday we had a conversation about women undergoing body shaming and how it affects us, but men do it too. And most of what happens when men undergo it, it tends to be they're too small, they're too skinny. He was actually called, I feel bad reading the insults, you guys. The first one that's not, that's pretty terrible is someone said that he looked like Scooby-Doo. Someone said, and I mean, I don't necessarily get it. I don't get it. I don't understand where you get sort of, maybe he looks like a black Shaggy, I guess, because of the dreads. But anyways, someone says that he's too small and he's not man-sized. Now, he had a great response to it. He was like, listen, I'm a Christian, I've already forgiven them. But the funny thing he said is, like, the people who are sitting in their one-bedroom apartments, eating their day-old Rolexes, are wishing to be in the small man's shoes. So I feel bad for the guy, but he handled it gracefully.
Yeah, I think it's pathetic that people feel like they can talk about your body like that. And I have found that people are far more laxed when they're talking about men being skinny. People feel like that's free to say, like, you know, oh my God, he's so skinny. People feel very comfortable to say that. And I find it's very offensive because I guess men are supposed to be this strong and big and, you know, because of being the protector, etc., etc. That's the same way when men are very short, they're also kind of, you know, body shamed so much because a man's supposed to be, you know, the protector. So that stature, people feel is needed for a real man. Now, we have so many things that we've got going on in our countries, in our lives, that to be making an issue of how somebody is sized. And also, his metabolism is probably so fast. Majority of the time, people think that it's because you don't eat, but it's because your metabolism is just so fast. As soon as you have that food processed
it's just your
out,
body.
you know, that's just someone's body. And I don't think it's any funnier or any more chilled when it's done to a man. It's unacceptable when people around you are always making you feel uncomfortable about your size. And he's right. You feel bad about yourself. That's why you feel the need to make me feel bad about me. And kudos to him for communicating about it because not enough men are talking about this.
Very
Yeah,
true.
definitely. Like I don't condone body shaming at all. I mean, I think he looks like a pretty young, decent gentleman. Like, and who knows, his metabolism might be fast. He might be working out every day. Like, nobody knows, and to each their own. And he also said, like, there was one comment he had said, like, focus on you and getting out of poverty. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Right.
But yeah, I don't condone body shaming.
Yeah,
And
you're right. It's not right for anyone, and it's interesting because we seem to be more relaxed about it happening to men. I mean, because, you know, number one, men are always taught anyways to just eat their feelings, so we can't even tell if they're bad. But actually, I don't know if you'd be cool with me saying it, but Jasper, when we first got together, he was never a small guy, but now he's a lot bigger because he's really committed his life to fitness. But he'll still occasionally ask me, he's like, you know, babe, I think I've gotten smaller. I think I've lost mass. He'll still feel like he's small. And look at Lydia's face. The thing is it's like to everyone else around him, it's like you're a giant, you're gigantic, and you could crush me like a toothpick kind of thing. But men internalize it so much, and especially when you're around like fame like he is, or if you're around like a certain environment like sports and fitness and health, like how you look is always going to be a factor and an issue, even if men don't talk about it. He probably still goes home to Kansime and is like, babe, like, do you like my body?
Yeah.
And it's sad.
I think it's so sad. And also that is what Jasper's going through is the equivalent of, babe, do I look fat?
Yeah, am I
it's
fat?
the exact same
My
thing. It's like
skin,
when
hair.
you are in a position which you felt insecure about, even when you do get out of it, there's like residue of insecurity about your body. And I feel like men should totally talk more about it. Have you experienced this yourself at home? Do you know somebody who's going through it? The hashtag is Hebrew Let's Talk, and the SMS line is 40920. If there's a story to share as far as maybe a man who you know going through this, please share, because there's not enough people talking about it. And too many people are going through it. Too many people.
most
Pretty much
definitely.
everyone.
And you know, men have feelings just like women do. Like, even though they don't express them as much as women do, like, men still have those feelings. And when they see those comments, it hurts. It hurts.
Absolutely.
But switching gears a little, now we're going to be talking about, so, you know, in Kenya, there's so many like betting apps. Like, people bet like from rural areas from 20 shillings to thousands of shillings, like daily. And so now apparently fans and football players that went to, you know, Kenyans on Twitter were outraged because the Kenyan Revenue Authority had announced that they're going to be putting a 20% tax on their stakes and their wins. So that means even before you put in your money, that's already 20% of it gone. And then when you win, whatever, you could win the lotto and 20% of it is gone again. Like, it's absolutely crazy and ridiculous. And so these Kenyans are threatening to like stage naked protests outside of the building. They're threatening to poop outside. Like, they're obviously outraged, and it's crazy.
I mean, if you've ever watched a football match, the football match which I watched, I think it was Gor Mahia and someone else. And if you know the Gor Mahia fans, they do not play. When they win, there's trouble. When they lose, there's trouble. I mean, I have seen them do crazy things. You're always told if Gor Mahia are playing, you need to get out of the stadium ASAP because they are very devoted fans, a lot of them, and there are some fanatics. Now, they're the people who are threatening to go and pull at the KRA offices because the betting company are going to put this 20% tax. I am also of the opinion that the amount of scrutiny and taxation that's on betting companies is a little not like normal. I get it's supposed to be more intense because betting and gambling especially is addictive. It's addictive, it's a luxury, and so I can see how they're trying to kind of strain them more so that there's not so many of them. I don't know if it's fair or not. As I said before, I have seen Gor Mahia fans do worse for less. So pooing at KRA, I think that's an average Friday.
Kind
That's
of.
a casual Monday.
I mean, if anything, we should be thankful that no one's making violent threats. It's just more.
Just a poo.
It's more threats to make you all uncomfortable. You know, it's just like someone's like standing out the window, like, oh God, what is he doing? But okay, I personally don't understand this intense of a fandom for football, and I also don't understand this intense of a desire to bet. Those are things that I just don't relate to. I do understand the idea of feeling like unfair taxation is crazy because Kenya has already some of the highest taxes like in the world. So I get that they're feeling strained. I kind of have this theory kind of the same way it was about smoking shisha of if the old man making the laws don't do it, then they're going to tax it and they're going to think it's terrible and everything like this, you know? So, because I mean, it's not like they're taxing liquor companies this much. It's not like they're taxing beer this much. You know, they're focusing on things that like they don't do and enjoy, but young people do. And the thing about these apps is it's made it really so easy to bet. You're very right. So addiction can be an issue because you're also, you also feel kind of far away from the gambling because it's over your phone. So it doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, I'm sitting in a casino. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily think taxing is really what's going to stop the addiction from growing because look at even smoking cigarettes. You can tax those incredibly heavy and people will still buy themselves cigarettes. So that's just not the way around it. I think, again, it's just old men don't like when young people have fun and fun things.
And you know, it's like it's getting worse. So it was like, you know, tax on how much they make, then now it's tax, you know, before they even do anything. Like it's getting like worse and worse and worse, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to be done because it seems to be kind of like a blatant disregard of whoever owns the company, and you know, I just don't think they don't care. But one thing I feel like we should mention is that there's not enough information as far as how bad gambling addiction is. There just isn't. There's not enough messaging that are coming coupled with these adverts for betting the way that they should. The same way like cigarette packets come with, you know, these big, ugly, kind of horrifying ads about how bad smoking is. They should really counter the same thing. Reason being, gambling is not something which everyone's gonna do, so it's easy to ignore it and it kind of just pass, but it ruins lives. I know there's a friend of mine, we grew up together, and he's addicted to gambling. And unfortunately, it goes to the point of you steal from people. It's the same thing as drugs.
So
you steal from the people you love. You put up your house. You put up everything that's valuable about you, and you might just think that you're just playing a game, but it's good to be observant. Like with everything, just like with anything else, but with gambling, there's a particular thing. Even in those casinos, my friend told me, shout out Dorito, my friend told me that even the temperature, the lighting, everything is geared towards you staying there.
Free drinks, they pump in oxygen.
They actually pump in oxygen.
They will do crazy things.
And then when the lighting, so that you don't feel like, you don't know the difference
the
between
day and night. You
can't
can't tell the time you've spent there.
All of these things are geared towards making you feel like you gotta stay there longer than you should, and it's so sad.
No, but even just these games on your phone, like I know someone who like they got up to like 50,000 K. They're like, okay, I'm gonna stop at 50,000 K. Then they're like, okay, no, and they keep doing it and going and going. And then they're like, okay, I'll stop at 80. Okay, I'll stop at 100. They got to 100, lost everything.
Oh my God.
100K. 100K and lost everything. It's like, it is addictive and it's so easy and accessible now on your phone. Like what you just sign up for a certain company and then, but these companies are also now going to be taxed as well.
Oh, yeah.
So they're going to be losing a lot of money. So I wonder how this is going to play
It's
out.
crazy.
Yeah,
But
like as Dana is saying, it doesn't actually make any sense. That, to the more you tax the company,
Yeah.
the less people do it.
No.
Like that doesn't work around it. But there needs to be more information about gambling addiction. That is how you reach the other people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How do we know that smoking is bad? They really geared that into us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely, yeah. And like no matter how much companies fought, for example,
Yeah.
we're all well aware of the fact smoking is bad.
Yeah.
So if they
Exactly.
really sort of push this idea, like, listen, this could be a real danger to you,
Yeah.
it would be different. But what I also don't like about it is people are saying that it's possible that they'll go into your online wallet to tax the money. And the reason I don't like
Wild.
that, yeah, the thing is, it's like that is such an invasion of privacy to a dangerous level that we need to be watching out for that. Because the thing is okay, so if they can go into like your betting account, does that mean that they could also go into your M-Pesa account? Does that mean they could go kind of into anything that they wanted? Because like all these betting companies are privatized.
Yeah.
Safaricom and M-Pesa privatized. They could have access to things that we really need to monitor where they're heading in this direction, kind of thing.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's true.
Kenya's not afraid to tax literally
Yeah.
anything.
They're not. You guys let us know what you think about this. I know a lot of, there's so many people who we do know. Are you a betting fan? Have you bet or do you know somebody who's really about this and how do they feel? The hashtag is Ibu, let's talk, and the SMS is 40920. Now, I was one of the biggest fans of this when it came. East Africa's Got Talent. And there's not that many of smaller places where they bring this.
Yeah.
So when they brought East Africa Got Talent, I was so excited. I think like most people, we were just anticipating we have our own.
Let's see.
Yes, there's so many, there's so much talent, and this it's for Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, and Rwanda. And even the judges actually are all coupled with that. So people aren't happy with the judges. That's basically the short form. And the judges are Vanessa Mdee, who's Tanzanian. Then there's Jeff Konange, our own. Ugandan radio host, Gaetano Kagwa, wow, and Rwandanese DJ Makeda Mahadeo. Now, people have a few things to say about the judges. This was one person wrote, I have watched East Africa Got Talent show, and these judges are something else. With this rate, we won't have any deserving winner. I don't know if If I have watched too much of the other countries, Got Talent and X Factor, if I have, The Voice, but for sure our judges suck. Actually, they're very nice acts, very nice. Some even need a golden buzzer, but too bad the judges have only one chance for a golden buzzer. I can't talk about the ladies judges because they are just, oh wow.
They're just there. Should I
there.
continue reading the second half?
Yes, please.
Yes. So everything to them is just yes, 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 and KT. Sometimes Gaetano tries to bring a bit of Simon Cowell, but he still fails. Sometimes he tries the David Williams, jumping into saying yes, yes, even without listening. Then this thing they are just almost dancing in their seats, I assume, for almost every act. Gosh, I was loving the acts when they turn the cameras to judges. I just lose appetite for it. Where is Ian? We need some sanity in this show. I was watching with some of my friends from UK and they were just laughing. Yes, the acts are there, but the judges, someone bring Ian. So they're asking for a different guy who is a judge on a different show, I believe. And they're saying that he would have done absolutely better. They're saying that these judges are terrible. They didn't necessarily go into detail about how they feel they're doing into specifics, but I watched a little bit on YouTube. I think to me what I noticed that's super prevalent, and no disrespect to any of them in their respective fields, but none of them are hosts. None of them are are critiquers in this sort of like public sense. Like you can say whether or not a singer is good, but can you also do it in a captivating way in which an audience will also like agree with you or disagree with you? You know, you develop a personality. Like Simon Cowell had a personality. Paula Abdul has her own personality. Like there are judges that are both able to critique and judge in a professional way and still be entertaining.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Like, I feel like this set of judges weren't chosen right. Like Jeff Koinange, come on, as a judge for Kenya's Africa, whatever, East Africa's Got Talent. Like, I was like, let's see how that goes. Like, you need more artists, like, on the panel. Like, they have Vanessa Mdee, but you need, like, people who are going to be professional about it and people who are able to critique music, who know and understand, like, all the notes that they need to hit, everything, like all of this. You know, there's just different levels to it, but I don't think this panel of judges was right.
Yeah, that's Judge Ian, and a lot of Kenyans. He was judging a show which people really loved. They loved how he did it, so we have something to compare to. I feel like there should be more music execs, not necessarily musicians, because a musician doesn't necessarily always know how to judge another musician, but execs. Where are the people who own music labels? Where are the people who are managing some big stars, people who actually know what exactly it means to spot talent and process the talent and like help it grow? Because right now we have hosts. The closest person, I guess, is Vanessa Mdee, who's an artist herself. And I feel like a lot of the times that judgment is not always like, you know, the right one. For me, the funny thing, what I thought was the weirdest thing is that the person who's representing Kenya is like, you know, how are you? Like, is everyone gonna think that that's how we talk?
Mannerism,
you know,
his mannerisms are strange, and also I think it's also worth saying. It's also worth saying that like this is a general talent show. This isn't only about musicians. It's also about dancers. It's also about magicians. It's general talent. And so the issue that I have here is, even if they found great people in the music industry, how does a musician judge a magician? Like when I was watching it, one of the guys was a hypnotist on a different episode. So I feel like we have to express more well-roundedness, but hopefully these judges will listen to the critiques and get their booties in gear.
I mean, for real. Like, let us know what you guys think of East Africa's Got Talent. Give us your comments, your feedback on the judge panel. Let us know. The hashtag is Ebru Let's Talk, and the SMS is 40920, and we will be right back after this.
We're on top. Hey, ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top. We're on top. Hey, ladies, we're on top. Hey, we're on top.
Welcome back to the show. If you've just joined us, this is Let's Talk here on your favorite channel, Ebru TV. And today is Furahi Day show, so that means the energy is all the way up here. So if you've just come here, we hope your energy is all the way there. We are here to start the weekend off with you, and we hope you have an amazing time. Now, as it is Friday, it's time for our favorite segment, Talk That Talk. Well, on this table, we are all about sisterhood or brotherhood, whichever way you want, whichever way you're feeling, right? Now, the code for sisterhood, if no other, don't go with your friend's man, that's obvious. Number 2, do not steal spotlights for your girlfriends. It's like a rule of thumb. On somebody else's birthday, when I see or if I know what you're going to wear, I know what I'm going to wear myself. Now, it's not like, you know, I don't want to outshine you because you're not as bad. You are beautiful, you are gorgeous, but I want you to feel like you are the most beautiful girl in the room. So the way I'm going to dress for any of my girls' events is appropriate to that. Now, Vera Sidika failed that test big time. Last night was Tanasha Donna's baby shower, where she invited loads of her friends. A lot of celebrities went there, and Vera Sidika walked in dressed in basically bra and panties and something see-through. I don't think we can even show it on TV. And essentially, nobody has even talked about once about what Tanasha wore, what she's doing, how the baby shower was. All everyone is talking about is that Vera Sidika stole the spotlight. She also had an opportunity to have a little speech, which she did make. It was poignant, it was sweet, but completely removes from the sentiment of a baby shower. So today we are talking about people stealing your spotlight. Number 1, girls, have you ever had someone do this?
I haven't, honestly.
Thankfully.
No, thankfully.
Yeah.
No, and I've never done it to anybody else. Like, I'm not that type of person to do that.
Yeah, what about you?
I'm really trying to remember if it's ever
too.
happened or if I've ever done it. I feel like I've probably felt that way though, especially when like you're a young teenager. Because
Yeah.
you know, it's like you're a girl, maybe it's first time in makeup in a cute outfit, and there's another girl there who's like chatting up all the boys, and you're just there, you're like, I left the house today. Doesn't that count for anything? You know, so I feel like everyone's felt that way before.
Oh, wait, no, I lied. Hold on.
Oh,
it was
dang.
a music video shoot I was supposed to go and like feature in. And like, there were like, you know, girls who were doing their twerking business and stuff. And then I showed up, like I was covered because it was outside. And then once I took off my outfit, like everybody just got their cameras out and was taking pictures of me
Ooh.
next to the car, doing this, doing that. Even I felt like the artist whose video shoot it was, kind of felt like,
So you
okay.
are Vera?
Like, I'm kind of in a way,
Dang,
but yo,
girl.
if you tell me to show up for your video shoot to be featured, I'm just gonna be Naomi. So I'm gonna be who I am. And if I outshine you, I'm so sorry about that.
Okay, so we have Vera Siddiqua on the table.
No, we
Dang,
don't.
girl.
We do because
It was a one-time
no,
thing.
but here's the thing, yeah, that's the same thing Vera Siddiqua, I'm assuming she says. You invite me to your baby shower, you know I dress like this, so why would I come as a different person? Isn't that your point?
No, because the way Vera dressed at the baby shower,
like too
that wasn't even appropriate for a baby shower.
Yeah.
She looked like she was literally going to the club to
Yeah.
make an appearance.
She wanted to
like,
make a
come
baby.
on, everybody knows, like a baby shower, you dress accordingly. Everybody knows, like the new mom to be. She's big, she's round, she's out there. And women, we have emotions when it comes to our size, especially being pregnant with all those crazy emotions going on. Like, so we know that the mother is gonna be like kind of dressed in a certain, she's not gonna be in a skimpy club dress. Like, come on,
Yeah.
everybody knows that. So dress accordingly. A baby shower.
So I guess the two sides here I feel is if your friends dress like skanks when you invite them to your baby shower, you
Expect
should
them
expect
to.
that.
Expect
Versus my friends love me and they know that I'm pregnant and maybe I'm not feeling the best about my body, so they're going to show up dressed in a way which is about me. It's about making sure that I shine, right? And I feel every time we see, making someone shine. Ooh, Kiambu, hello. I'm
today.
making someone shine. Anyway, so, every time we talk about making someone shine, it sounds like, we've got to dim someone's light. But honestly, when you're celebrating someone, it's just love to make sure that it's about them.
Absolutely, and especially because, I mean, there are certain times and places for everything, yeah? Because we can expect something from Vera, but the thing is, like, we just had a big conversation about how obsessed she is with that, like, what is it, Versace shirt or something, that designer shirt, right? How come you couldn't have worn an entire shirt to a baby shower, Like, you have options, girl, you're rich. Because the thing for me is she had to conscientiously choose that outfit, all right? She wasn't broaded. She wasn't like, oh my God, this is such a baby shower attire. This was like, I want to show up and I want to show up naked because apparently she also wants a baby too. Like, I mean, rich people were there. She probably trying to show up or something. But that's the thing, is that was a conscious choice that she thought through. She went through all the phases of decision making and still landed on, let me show up to my friend who's probably feeling self-conscious about her body, essentially half naked.
Yeah. Whether or not, to be fair, I feel like there was not necessarily any malice intended. I feel like there was more neglect. There was
She's
more
just
of,
dumb.
I don't care
Yeah.
what's gonna happen as long as I get the light. And here's the thing, the fabric of the character of the person who that person is, they're gonna be like that in many of events. Vera is about the spotlight.
Yeah.
She had us thinking that she was dark-skinned for a month.
Yeah.
Now that she's not. So she's all about, are people still talking about me? What's happening? What can I do to be the next bit of conversation? So unfortunately, when you're her friend, you will fall victim to that. It's the same way, like, if a girl has no boundaries when it comes to sleeping with other people's boyfriends, one day you as her friend, you will fall victim because it's more of a character flaw.
You
Yeah.
could,
You know what I
could
mean?
suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
I mean,
You will.
It's just strange because, you'd hope that people are sort of grown up with certain etiquette. Like, For example, when I went home last year for like my sister's wedding, right? Of course, she wanted all of us to feel great and beautiful, and she worked really hard for like the bridesmaids' dresses to look good on everyone. But that doesn't mean that she would have been okay with me being like, you know, Leah, I'm on TV, I gotta get my own makeup artist and this all. Like, no, you teach people how to treat you, and the problem now is, I mean, I feel like their friendship is fairly new. So you know, like there is
Said
an
they would
No,
they've been
they've
friends
been
for
friends for
5
5 years.
really that's not your friend, girl. I'm just-
No, it's
then let me
really not.
switch gears here and tell you that that friend you've had for 5 years is not your friend.
No,
all
she's
right,
not your friend.
because the whole focus should have been on you and that little baby boy that's in your belly, and it was instead on her and her big old booty.
Question.
But I
right?
feel like okay, they're all like in the entertainment industry,
Yeah.
socialites coming together, entertainers coming together. Like, so I kind of like, I'm not surprised that Vera Siddiqa did show
Yeah.
up looking like this, like, because
disappointed.
I mean, we didn't see anybody else's outfit either, so we can't really talk on that spectrum.
not
But,
supposed
Yeah,
exactly.
according to
but
Vera.
we haven't even seen Tanasha and what she wore. Like,
Yeah.
that's the crazy part
We
about
forgot
it.
it's
wore,
even her
she wore,
shower.
I
Yeah.
think she wore a long blue dress. So this is my question. Let's put this in perspective. This is your baby shower.
Yeah.
So excited. Your first baby as well. So it's not like you've done this 4 or 5
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
first baby, and so you, Dana, Naomi walks in like that.
Get
what
out.
you do?
Yep.
Yeah. Like,
what I was
listen,
doing.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like,
Yep.
like
Yep.
Michelle Obama, Beyonce could come to my baby shower, and if she's dressed in some type of way I don't like, I'm gonna be like, why are you doing this? You're already Beyonce.
Yeah.
Like, you already somebody people know. Nobody here don't know your name. Nobody here thinks like, oh my God, who's that pretty girl? Like, you don't have to do this. For a single day for a friend that you've had for
Yes.
years, you couldn't tone it down. You're selfish.
Yeah,
You're just
you are.
selfish.
What
No,
about
I
you?
would definitely do that. But no, I'm not gonna tell you to get out. I'm gonna have security come
I'm gonna
drag
spill
your
wine
butt
on
out.
your dress.
Yeah, I'm gonna spill something on your dress. Like there was like this Nigerian story of a woman, and it was her wedding day, and another woman who she actually did not like showed up to the wedding. I guess it was the husband's friend or something. But she was like dressed in this fluorescent dress, and she kind of stole the show. It was so hilarious. There's pictures
Rip
like
her
all
dress.
over.
Yeah.
Like I would have ripped her dress. Like they didn't even kick her out or nothing. I was like, I mean, the bride is humble. Like that would not be me.
No.
See, the thing
You
is, yeah,
can't
for
be in
my
my
wedding,
photos.
you just can't wear white. But funny enough, I feel like for my wedding, I might have everyone wear white. Like I'm so into those weird things. Like we all wear white. I think it's
Clearly.
cute. But if I don't do that, you can't wear white. You know,
Really?
wear yellow, wear green. No one wears white to a wedding. You don't know that?
I didn't know that.
No,
didn't know
you
that?
can't wear white, you can't wear black.
white. Yes, you can't wear white because the bride is wearing white.
Whatever.
Right.
What if the bride is wearing?
Okay, if the bride
Rule
is
of
like
thumb.
a different bride, fine.
And
you
not
know?
even that, it's a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Like, you
I
know,
did
if
not
you're
know
seen
that.
in a white dress at a wedding,
Who are
you're
you, the
that girl.
bride?
Exactly,
Yeah.
you're that girl. I feel like it would have just been, not even to say, you know, get out or whatever, but
Not
just
a
aside,
scene.
you know, just,
Yeah.
Yeah, pull them
hey,
aside.
hun, I'm here. I am
Leave.
100 weeks pregnant.
Leave.
I
100 weeks.
feel like a bloated balloon. I want to feel gorgeous. And yes, you're so beautiful, but today,
Yeah.
you couldn't wear jeans.
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah.
you could not wear jeans. I would have a conversation.
I
wouldn't let it get that far.
Yeah,
I
that's
just wouldn't.
because I feel like you're kind of right. Maybe the whole scene to make me look like a crazy person. Again, though, it's my day, so I can look crazy. Like if I'm baking a baby in my belly, you need to
You're
be cool.
allowed to do
Yeah, you
anything.
need to be cool with whatever I do. But you know, it's like you just pull her to the side. Be like, listen, Vera, if you don't put some dang clothes on right now,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tear your wig off. But you know, you get real close and quiet, like, girl, you need to get it together because this is not your day. Just plain and simple. I think even for anyone I care about, I would also do that for my friend. Like if it was one of your days and you're like, Dana, this girl is upstaging me, do something about it, I would just be
yeah.
like, listen, like, you gotta go check on your car. You know, it's you know, your dad didn't tell you it's your dog's quinceañera. You gotta go to that. You gotta leave this party right now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this whole stealing the spotlight and then trying to act stupid about it, that's what I don't like. Because you know, if people approached her right now, she'd be like, what do you mean? We're friends. She knows how I am. Don't act stupid about something that you chose. Like, it's yours.
She knew what she was doing.
She knew what she was
knew
doing.
what she was doing.
Here's the thing. I feel like that was a better idea than send somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, so you don't seem like, you know, you're the bad person.
person.
But you put it out. But I mean, what other occasions are we willing to go to the you gotta go home? So that's a baby shower.
Baby
But what?
weddings.
Weddings.
obviously.
Weddings, yeah.
Big birthdays, maybe.
Birthdays, yeah.
Like 30th birthday, 21st birthday, like when birthdays still matter and you're still young.
Ratio, yeah.
Yeah,
Ratio.
ratio. I mean, that seems pretty intense.
Yes.
I
As
don't
you
know
story
the
time, so our producer, Sharon, shout out.
Sharon.
She is a very beautiful girl and she is gifted.
She's stacked.
Yes. So she found this picture of this
probably
voluptuous
laughing.
girl.
It's cute,
Yeah, this
too.
voluptuous girl who's dressed in like a beautiful African skirt and a white top, but you know it kind of comes down here. And that girl is also gifted. So she sent it to her friend to tell her, I'm gonna show this up and I'm gonna show up like
Yeah.
this in your ratio. Her friend was like, no, you ain't.
Yeah.
You're not
No,
coming.
you are not.
Oh my God, I have a story. So on my AG wedding, and again, you guys, please, I really love my friend. She's a cool lady, but she joked with me that she was gonna show up as a witness to my AG wedding in a little tiara, and she did.
Oh.
Yeah. But not
Where
like,
is she?
Not one of those not one of those crown tiaras, but just like
Okay.
little head jewels kind of thing.
okay.
And I laughed because the thing is like she's one of those people that she will follow through on her threats.
Yeah.
And she also knows not to like when the big day happens not to do it.
Yeah.
But I was like, this bee right here coming to my wedding with jewels on her face.
Yeah.
And we laughed and it was fine, but it's like, you know, don't like threaten, don't poke the bear because she'll just show up with a
Yeah.
crown.
What other event do you think you would have to tell your friend you gotta go home if they did it?
I
They
definitely
tried
I think birthdays, weddings, baby showers. I can't think of anything else that's bigger.
Graduations, maybe? Like
If you
big,
come as a
big life
friend.
events.
Yeah.
Big life
Like
events.
when you have the graduation party, maybe.
Yeah. Like graduation, I don't care.
Graduation party.
I'm
But
on the
do
stage.
you know the best part of life is to have girlfriends who just know the code.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I don't have to explain it
Surround
to you.
yourself,
Like when it's someone's birthday or someone's event, honestly, our job as your minions is to make sure that you are having a good time. First of all, like my best friend just got married in April, and by the way, she had a baby yesterday.
Oh, congrats.
A baby boy.
Beautiful
And
boy.
I was there. As cute as I was dressed, I knew I was there to be the assistant.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Yeah.
I was there in my heels, which weren't too high, and my job is to run around and basically be her assistant. Like, it's just a natural thing you're supposed to do
Yes.
for people who you love and you care about.
Yeah.
Do you think this matters to guys, or is it just us? Wiki.
I feel like it matters in some ways, just in different ways. Like I don't think a guy is gonna be offended if his friend shows up in like a nice tuxedo,
Right.
but actions matter to guys.
Right.
So men will have, you know, the little like measuring contest of like strength, you know, like who can carry the most, who's strong enough, little arm wrestling competitions. Like men more concentrate on upstaging each other via actions, not
Yes.
appearances.
Not appearances.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't think so.
There's somebody who told me, there's one of my guy friends, and said that he had one of his friends who every place they go, he has to be the center of attention. Like,
Tiring.
I
That's
know
so
someone like that.
tiring.
right?
I know someone like that.
They have to be the center of attention. And even in a situation where, like, you know, you've come to my party and this is, you know, it's me, it's my birthday, he still feels uncomfortable to be off the spotlight, even if it's somebody else's event.
That's
And
so
that's a whole man.
That's
you know, so
annoying.
like he's gotta be the one who, you know, the girls are coming to. He's gotta be the one who, if like, you know, your place where everyone is talking, he's gotta be the one who's being talked to. And that's
I feel like those type of people, their self-esteem issues.
Oh,
they
yeah,
have
they are.
self-esteem issues,
Yeah.
and they're lacking in some other areas of their life because that's ridiculous.
I used to know a girl who was like that, right? But instead of it being like a flaunty ego thing, I don't know. I think she thought that if she wasn't talking, she'd disappear or something.
Right.
Because I swear to you, used to be like, if you didn't listen to her story, she would sing to herself. It
Yeah.
was absolutely, I don't want to call her insane because she could be watching this like sharpening a knife or something. But she's a little bit you know, out there. But you guys, we're going to switch up the energy because it's time for game time.